Our last speaker, and Pierre, forgive me if I want to pronounce your name right. Pierre Roman Hoyer. Did I say that right? Oh, yay. I took Spanish, not French. Pierre is going to speak to you today from the path of the Father, the man who's walked the walk. I mean, a number of our panelists have done that, but that is his particular charge. And, you know, try to imagine yourself in his seat in a few years, because I'll be calling you. Go ahead.
Yes, of course, as many of you may have thought of doing, I tried to do it on my own first. So you look at many options, the websites trying to meet some maybe lesbians who want to co-parent, potential surrogates, and or even I was put in touch with a lovely lady from Ukraine who was a green card seeker, and since I'm both French and American, she wanted to have a green card here and in Europe. And a good friend who was a lawyer told me how dangerous that could be to get involved in situations like these, that it could cost much more than a fee, than $110,000 in the end. So after trying many, the wall of problems kept getting bigger and bigger, and I decided to go talk to John's agency during R&R trip to the U.S. I don't live in Afghanistan. I was just posted there for 2 years. Then I signed up. After signing up with the agency, I was amazed to see how quickly John found a match. I thought many donors or carriers did not want to work with gay men. And one of the advantages, and I could never speak enough to encourage everyone to use an agency or professional, is it takes all the anxiety out of the process, and it keeps the process, it keeps the beauty in the process. You don't have to, as gay men, we live a gay lifestyle, and we don't know what a cycle or the inside of a uterus is, or how to get two women on the same. So, you know, the agency keeps we go into it for having a part of ourselves stay behind for the beauty of having a child. And so going through the agency takes care of kind of the TMI process, the TMI aspect, too much information. You know, there's I met the egg donor by phone. I didn't meet her in person. But with Minette, we met several times. Once here in New York first before she got pregnant, and like our first speaker said, there is the contract on one hand, and then there is the relationship and the understanding you get on the other. And I think we had a good understanding of trust. I knew that going through an agency, Minette would have the resources and the time and the support to get all the checks done during her pregnancy to do it right. We met several times because I wanted to see the ultrasounds and the baby start moving and the heart beating. You know, the birth took place a little earlier than we thought, so we flew to Texas quickly. But in the end, the birth took place without many problems, and the agency also arranged all the legal aspects. We live in a world where things like that are not common. So when a married woman has a child in the hospital and you show up at the door, and if things have not been arranged by the agency, you know, they could say, you know, you're a stranger. This woman is married, the husband is soon to be the father, and unless the legal aspects have been taken care of, that's where the agency and the lawyers come into play to make sure that this takes place the way it should. I was outside the door during labor. It's part of the TMI thing. I saw the beautiful little babies after they had been, just after birth. And Minette went home a couple of days later, and everything had been arranged through John, who is a lawyer. The agency is actually inside of a law firm. And I stayed with the babies. Minette very relinquished, very as planned, and went home to take care of her 3 children. And I see her on the program talk about breastfeeding. I didn't breastfeed, but breastfeeding is not a big issue. I mean, I fed the babies were fed with formula available commercially. And then once the clarification took place at the hospital, then discharging was a breeze. I mean, once they know you're the father, I was able to get the birth certificate in a very short order, thanks to a correspondent lawyer in Texas. And Texas is not the easiest state to get to deal with, but they were able to do it, to get my name on it. Now, what I can tell you is before you do that, you know, you've heard John talk about the cost. Talking to your financial advisor or having your finances lined up, you know, not improvised is important because there is some cost, sometimes some unexpected cost can happen. And then it allows you to do a little more if you have, be comfortable to have a relationship with Minette, you know, and allow her to travel back and forth more often. We were able to meet often, relatively frequently during the pregnancy. The travel home, traveling home from Texas. I live in Washington, D.C., so the travel home, it's important that you have a partner or friends that make sure you have your support system for the babies. As important it is for the carrier to have a support system, it's important for you too. And I was lucky. I started this as a single gay male, and I met someone 2 weeks after signing up with, and somebody who was 21 years younger than me. So it was, you know, I told him what he was getting into, and he's still around. He's at the hotel with the babies. He's here, and it was the right guy. You know, he's the oldest of a family of 6. He had to take care of little younger siblings also, so he had already the training. So if you have any questions.